Hey folks, welcome to another episode on Clear My Paper. In this episode, we are going to solve a live problem, which is pretty much I've pre-solved it, but I'm going to explain the steps, which is what is more important in terms of understanding. In the past videos, we have seen enough how to derive the determinant or how to compute the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. So let's apply whatever we have learned on a live example in this video. So let's get started. So let's say we have a problem which is given. We have a determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix given, and we want to find the value of x over here, and they're always saying that this whole determinant is equal to 0. That's what the problem is. Our objective is to find the value of the x. What is the value of the x so that the determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix is equal to 0. And in the exam, before you start solving, you always take a pause, clear your head, take a deep breath, and just understand what is given in the problem and what are they asking, and what is that what are the different ingredients that you need to bring in together to solve this problem. You always take a minute out, okay, to understand that. So let's understand what are the things that are given. Okay, we know that this symbol, this vertical line here means it's a determinant. So we know that they're talking about determinant because this example does not talk about any verbiage where it says determinant. It just says find x if some array of numbers within this vertical lines are equal to 0. And we know that this is a notation of a determinant. That's what we know. We know it's a 3 by 3, or there's 3 rows and 3 columns. So it's a kind of a 3 by 3 matrix, although it's given in determinant format. But if we are finding the determinant of a matrix, we know that the determinant is equal to 0. We also know that is equal to 0. And we also know from our previous episodes to find x or in any way, if you want to find x, it does not matter how you find the determinant, whether you go row by row. There are 3 rows and 3 columns. So you can pick up any row or you can pick up any column to have a determinant of this matrix. The answer is not going to change. We know that as a fact. That's one of our ingredients. And we also know that while we finding the determinant, we need to take any element and find the submatrix associated with that element, which is nothing but the minor of that element, and then do our computation. And we should not forget that we have to alternate it with positive and negative sign, which is nothing but the part where I explain what is a cofactor. So we have to essentially find, whenever we are finding determinant, we are essentially applying or introducing or implementing minors and cofactors. We always should remember that. Okay, so that's all we know. So these two are the ingredients that should naturally come to your mind, and the first 3 points are given. So that's the mental work that's done. Now let's get started. In the interest of time in examination, let's get started. So I'm always going to rewrite the problem, and my goal is to find x, which I've written. And there are 2 ways that I'm going to solve, pretty much applying this particular principle here to prove a point that whichever row or column you choose, the value of determinant does not change. So I'm going to just demonstrate in this video. To start with, let's do one thing. We have taken this example as it is. And let's say we are going to choose the third column, for instance. The third column is this column, to find the determinant of that matrix before we equate is equal to 0. And when we do that, this is what does that mean? So what I'm going to do is I put some empty determinants here, the submatrix. These are the minors, right, that I explained. We have to find the minor and the cofactors while we find the determinant. So what it means is, I'm going to take the third column, which has got 3 elements, 9, 7, and x. I've put that elements here as a scalar, as outside the determinant. That's what it means. And the submatrix itself within the determinant, which is going to be of a lower order, which is 2 by 2 here, because we have a 3 by 3 matrix. So we are going to form a submatrix of a lower order that itself will be formed by excluding the row in which this 9 appears and excluding the column in which the 9 appears, which is what I've kind of written here. If you see here, over here, I've written the matrix, and I've highlighted these 3 kind of elements, which is kind of the scalar multiplication of the elements of the third row over here in green color. And I have highlighted the row and the column of the element that we want to exclude, so that we don't have to take that while we form this submatrix. So if you see 9 here, 9 is present in row 1 and column 3. So I've highlighted those. So I don't want to take any of those values inside this minor or submatrix. That's how I've done for the remaining elements. So what essentially I've done is I've just put this for intention. In exam, that's how you write. You create these empty spaces, write this down, and then fill up the matrix. So the way you fill up the matrix is, now since I have this step done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the matrix. I don't want 9 inside or any elements on this row and this column inside. So whatever is remaining, this portion, I'm going to take inside the submatrix or the minor. So I've just copied and pasted it here, and same way I've done it here, and same way I've done it here. And just as a recall, whatever is this submatrix, just this submatrix part within these vertical lines, that is a determinant of 2 by 2 matrix or a submatrix, or it's a minor. And what is it minor of? Whatever element is outside this as a coefficient, outside this determinant, which is nothing but a scalar or a coefficient, this determinant or submatrix is a minor of that element. For example, a minor of 9 is this determinant, a minor of 7 is this determinant, and a minor of x is this determinant. That's how I'm writing it. And if you see here something in red for making it important, always make it a practice of rewriting the given matrix or determinant in this format and cross out the rows and the columns which you do not need for computing the determinant. That kind of helps you avoid some simple silly calculation mistakes, right? So always do this. That's why I've written in red. Always do this as a practice to rewrite the rows while computing the submatrix and cross it out and just focus on the remaining elements. That's number one. Number two is between this each of these terms, there are 3 terms. Between this each of these terms, we have to put the algebraic sign. And that's where the definition of cofactor kicks in. If you remember, we have formed this cofactor cheat sheet, how to remember all the diagonals are going to be positive and all the non-diagonal elements are going to be negative. So we need to apply this algebraic sign over here. And in this case, since we have taken the third column to compute the determinant, if you see the third column here, we know that it's going to be alternating. So it's going to start with plus, followed by minus, and then plus. And I've also written the elements with the coefficients here so that you don't get confused. That means 9 is going to have a plus, so it's a plus here. 7 is going to have a minus, I've already put the minus here. And x is going to be plus, x has a plus value. So always it's a combination of finding the minors and then applying the cofactor algebraic signs that put together gives you the determinant with this multiplication effect. That's how it is. It's a 3-step process. You take the coefficients out, you calculate the minor, which is a submatrix, and then you put alternating signs. The net effect of that is nothing but the determinant of the whole matrix. And we have taken third column, for instance. And then rest is simple computation, where you compute this as a 2 by 2 matrix, where you cross multiply the diagonals. You take the top left and the bottom right numbers first and subtract it by the product of the other diagonals on the forward slash. That's what you do. And when you do the simple maths, you get the value of x, because eventually you will get again a simultaneous equation, or one equation and one unknown, which you know how to solve from elementary maths. And you just get the value of x is equal to 25. This is your final answer. So we have computed the answer which has been asked. Find x. If this determinant is 0, the value of x is going to be 25. We already computed. Okay, that's as straightforward as this. And as an alternative method, now instead of taking third column, if I choose something else, what happens? Nothing is going to happen. The answer is going to be the same. I've already demonstrated in the theory, but let me walk you through with a practical example. I'm going to pick up the same example, but instead of the third row, I'm going to pick up instead of becoming the third column, in this case, I'm going to pick up the third row. I'm going to pick up this row, this is row 3. In the above case, we picked up this column 3. So I'm going to pick up the third row, and I'm going to apply the same principles. I already have my cheat sheet of cofactors here for the third row. The first element, since it's on the diagonal, it will start with plus and minus and plus. That means 11 is going to be plus, 4 is going to be negative, and x is going to be plus. And as a practice, I'm going to rewrite all the 3 matrices. And since we are going to select the row number 3, for each element that is highlighted in green, 11, 4, and x, I'm going to calculate the submatrix. And in this case, what I've done is I'm not applying the cofactor yet. I'm just breaking it apart for avoiding confusion. I'm calculating the minor first for each of these elements in green color in the third row that we have chosen. And this is how I'm calculating the minor. The minor is nothing but just the sub matrix. No negative or positive sign, no cofactor coming in, and no multiplication of this coefficient. Just the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix for a 3 by 3 matrix, or the sub matrix is just the minor. So that means the minor of 11 is anything and everything within this determinant. The minor of 4 is over here, and the minor of x is over here. So I'm going to apply a simple cross multiplication of diagonals like we discussed, multiply this by this, and I'm going to calculate the minors. So I get the minors in the brackets, and then after multiplying with the coefficient on the outside, I get the net values like this over here, and over here. And then I'm going to apply the cofactor alternating signs in this format, where the first element is going to be 429, so I've given the positive sign. 4 is negative, and x is negative again here. So I'm going to apply that. Again, I'll get one equation unknown like the previous case. One equation, one unknown, we know how to solve, and the answer is again going to be x is equal to 25. So the answer does not really change based on which row or column you kind of prefer to choose the determinant. The only tips is always rewrite this matrix in this format and physically cross out using a pen the rows that you don't want, so that you don't do the mistakes. And always get in the habit of writing this cofactor cheat sheet, so that you don't forget and you don't do a mental math. You just tie out one on one, so that you don't do a mistake. That's pretty much it. How to find a determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix, a simple example, and it's very easy to do that. And pretty much that's it. The only pain is you will not know if the answer is right. If you do a calculation mistake, you would not know how to put it back and compute it. There is no way to verify. So hence go slow and avoid any silly mistakes. That's all for this video, guys. I'll put more problems on the next topic. See you soon. Signing off on Clear My Paper.